Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where the owl is about to get fucked again. It's lost to the Midcard. Welcome to this edition. We had a lot of news break between the pay-per-view, Great Balls of Fire, and tonight, Wednesday night, July 12th. Lots of news. Some spoilers from NXT as they're taping tonight. And Rebby Hardy on Twitter again. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So we got a lot to get to, so let's get to it. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard and hit that subscribe button every time. You'll know every time an episode comes your way, most Thursdays and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all that, go to our notes section on Facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. You can find it there. Also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host is on the Twitter at Raw If Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Oh my God!
Couple things.
What is going on in the world of pro wrestling?
Couple things to talk about this week, huh?
Yeah, just a couple.
Oh, the owl is about to get fucked.
Dude, I really didn't think we'd have a whole lot to talk about tonight. You know, like, I figured it's only been, just a couple of days since we last did the show. I was just like, I didn't really expect a whole lot of news to break, and wow, would you looky here. A whole bunch of stuff to talk about this week already, and we're only a couple of days in. It's a crazy time to be a wrestling fan.
Well, buckle up for the first story, the main story that broke out on Monday by TMZ. Wrestling superstar Alberto El Patron is being investigated for an alleged domestic violence incident at a Florida airport. Witnesses who told TMZ Alberto and the woman were arguing in the terminal when things escalated. As one witness put it, there was an altercation. No charges or arrests were made, though. Investigators still gathering information. And cops would not confirm the name of the alleged victim. Interestingly enough, Paige took to Twitter and said this was in regards to a third party and that it had nothing to do with her and Alberto, but then somebody had recorded audio from the incident and sent it to TMZ, and the audio has Paige clearly yelling, "Stay out of my life, leave me the fuck alone," as she's arguing with El Patron. She also could be heard saying, "I'm trying to get away from you all the time." The audio is at TMZ if you want to listen to it. Paige took to Twitter on that day shortly after the news broke and said, we got the cops involved. I'm crying because I found out bad family news and a lady tries to take a pic. She gets angry and throws a drink on Alberto. Please leave us alone. That's it. Well, come to speak of it, there wasn't a random lady throwing a drink on Alberto. It was actually Paige, as she took to Twitter today to admit what had happened, apparently. I mean, who knows who to believe at this point, but this is what Paige said happened in the Orlando incident on Monday. This is from earlier this afternoon. Alberto didn't want me to say the full story because he didn't want people to know, and I didn't want people to know that I threw a drink on him. So she lied on Monday. But the full story is I had a phone call saying my uncle is in a bad way. I'm crying outside the restaurant. I go in. Alberto is hugging me. I'm a little sensitive, and we start bickering about something so small. I say I'm leaving, and he says something that I don't write on. I won't write on here, but it wasn't nice. And
which we already know what it was.
What was that again?
that he pretty much wished her uncle would die.
Wow.
How classy is that?
What a great guy. That's your champion, Jeff Jarrett. We'll get to that in a minute, too. Even though I shouldn't have done it. I threw a drink in his face because I was so angry. Again, shouldn't have done it. It was in front of a lot of people. I walk out. He follows me a few seconds later, gets the cops and security, and a crazy lady decides to leave whatever she's doing to follow us and invade our privacy in a completely low way. Only low-life people would do. Anyways, it was me who was being held for battery charges because I threw a drink on him. No, he never touched me. No, I never hit him with a glass 3 times like the internet and all their glories making out. It's completely ridiculous on how one story can spiral out of control. And, oh, guess what? On the internet, he smelled like beer because I threw a beer on him. Nothing more. Nothing less. No one got arrested. There are no mugshots, no charges, nothing. The horrible, disgusting human being of a lady decided she wanted to make money out of our misfortune. I wish people would give us the privacy we deserve. I know we won't get it, but I wish that would happen. That was from today, and she also added to that lengthy post with and if you listen to that stupid audio, you will hear him saying he's pressing charges on me. We all say stuff when we are mad, and then says that's all I will say about the airport situation. Thanks for the privacy at this time. And it was announced earlier this morning on a conference call with Jeff Jarrett that the Global Force Wrestling Champion, Alberto El Patron, is suspended effective immediately until investigation is resolved on the recent incident in Orlando, Florida. Well, Matt, again, I mean, they're sitting here, begging for privacy, but this type of shit happens like every other month, doesn't it?
Well, here's the problem, and the first shot I'm going to take is at the good folks at TNA Impact Global Force Wrestling.
No, they don't deserve shots.
Oh, they deserve plenty of shots. If you suspend your champion, yet you have TV taped till mid-August, is he really suspended?
Is it mid-August or just 3 weeks?
It's like mid-August.
Oh, I heard 3 weeks.
Dude, it's July 12th.
Well, 3 weeks would be the end of July.
No, trust me, it's like mid-August. They're not back to like Destination X.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's like a live special.
Reports made it sound like there were 3 episodes left in the tapings.
No, they've got more than that.
Okay.
So just the simple fact that they're not going to be back on TV until the live Destination X special in August. And they want us to believe that just because they say Alberto's suspended, that he actually is. What does the suspension mean when you're not doing anything? Yeah. Are you going to actually tell me that Alberto's actually not going to be at your live events in early August in New York? Because I don't believe you. This company is so full of shit. And Jeff Jarrett is so full of shit.
No.
That it's gone to the point where I don't believe a word that comes out of anybody who works there's mouth. Like, at all. And furthermore, as much as I hate this entire Paige and Alberto situation, and I do agree at the end of the day, it should be a private matter for them to handle on their own. It should not be something that we, the public, should be poking our nose into. I would like to call out Paige, the no-life loser that seriously had the nerve to stalk these people and record their conversation on audio so they could make a quick $1 from TMZ. Fuck you. Like, absolutely, seriously, fuck you. It's people like that. The airport stalkers that stalk these wrestlers are the scumbags of the earth. These people are just like us. They have lives. They have private time. And the airport is one of the absolute last places you should be bothering the talent, let alone recording their conversations on a very personal and private matter. So, the whole thing's disgusting. I refuse to take anybody's side because there's so many different sides to every story out there. I don't know the truth. And without knowing the truth, you don't really know what's going on because Paige is saying one thing, her family's saying another, Del Rio's camp is saying something else. The whole thing's fucked up. I just wish the situation could get resolved and everybody comes out of it without, bodily harm. I guess is the only thing that I can hope for at this point, because the whole thing just seems ultimately fucked up.
And that lady went to the heavy and got herself an interview as well. Obviously, we heard this before. She said Del Rio reeked of alcohol when he chased after Paige. Paige was screaming at Del Rio for doing coke for 2 days straight, calling him abusive. They were arguing back and forth, says the woman who resides in Tampa. So, yeah, crazy story. Odd that Paige would lie and then turn around and say that, but, I mean, obviously
Well, she probably lied without realizing that somebody recorded their fucking conversation.
Yeah.
And she was trying to protect their personal private matter, which I get. Honestly, I get it. Because it's honest to God, it's none of our business. This entire situation is none of our business. And this is why I hate the tabloids and I hate sites like TMZ and stuff like that, because these personal private matters that everybody is so fascinated by, it's honest to God, it's none of our business. If they wish to publicly make it our business, that's one thing. But if they're not talking about it, and sites like TMZ or this woman who's recording conversations pick it up and run with it, that's the kind of stuff I'm just like, you know what? To me, this is hands-off material, because I don't even want to talk about it. I wish nothing but the best for Paige and Alberto and whatever the fuck their personal problems are that they're going through. It sucks. Nobody likes going through personal problems. Everybody's human. Everybody doesn't enjoy dealing with stuff like this. But I would imagine in the public eye, it's 100 times worse. So, I wish them nothing but the best. I hope whatever problems those two are suffering from right now, they work it out. And, whether that means they stay together or they break up, I really hope just everybody can come out of this without, being physically harmed, because that's when you cross the line and shit needs to be handled, by the professionals.
With everything that's come down over the past year, do you think that Alberto is bad for Paige?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We don't know that for sure. How do we know Paige isn't bad for him?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. And I hate speculating on that kind of stuff, because I don't know Paige or Alberto personally. And I have no problem speculating or debating or critiquing pro wrestling storylines and what's going on in the business behind the scenes as far as creative and booking plans and stuff like that. But when it comes to these personal matters, I feel we should leave well enough alone. And I just don't think it's any of our business. If who's bad for who. And, I honestly, they want nothing more than for their personal lives to be left alone. And I want nothing more for them than to respect their wishes and, allow them to try to work out their lives without being under a microscope.
And segueing from that and continuing on the Jeff Jarrett conference call from today, Raj Giri from WrestlingInc.com was a part of the conference call and asked Jeff Jarrett point blank if the Hardys have acquired the broken gimmick. Jarrett said no, they haven't. Basically, that's all he said. No, they haven't. And well, then Rebby Hardy takes to Twitter. That's a new thing, right?
Well, she's been quiet for a couple weeks.
Well, she'd have.
We know why now.
Wrestling Observer tweeted, Jarrett was asked to clarify on his answer on the Hardys and confirmed that there's no agreement for the Hardys to acquire the broken characters. Rebby retweeted that and said, I'm going to have to start clarifying things by recording phone calls, apparently. Everything out of this loser's mouth is BS. Why, though? Why are you lying at Jeff Jarrett? We had an agreement of terms as of last week included in the non-disparagement clause to the tune of $5,000 every time I tweet something about TNA. But according to Jeff Jarrett, there is nothing. Okay, who's up for another run of Fuck That Al shirts? They'll be up by tomorrow. I haven't said anything for weeks. Meanwhile, Jeff, Dutch, Ed can't seem to be able to keep us out of their mouth, snakes. And shortly after that, Gregory Shane Helms said Jeff Jarrett would rather climb a tree to tell a lie than stay on the ground and tell the truth. I don't think he must not be involved with Impact anymore, is he?
Nope.
Jeff Jarrett says, Rebby puts in quotes and says, okay, I'm seeing what he says, but what does he do? Well, make Del Rio champion for one. I promise you, he knew exactly what was going on here. Meanwhile, he's worried about how we're making money. Guy, that's it for the epic Rebby Hardy tweets. The Shane Helms one was pretty good. Then Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, decided to give us all the backstory on what led to today's war of words on. Well, it wasn't really a war of words. It was neither one. They're both sides are just talking to the masses, not talking to each other here. But Mike Johnson says, as Rebby stated this afternoon on Twitter, there has been a deal in place between Anthem Media and the Hardys that would allow the Hardys to utilize the Broken Hardy gimmick going forward. I'm seeking to confirm Hardy's social media claims. PW Insider spoke with several sources who, under the condition of anonymity, stated that all sides agreed to a deal in principle. In a deal that is believed that Billy Corgan helped mediate, PW Insider has been told that all sides would have released a statement wishing each other well and would have agreed to no longer comment on each other publicly. The Hardys would have been able to utilize the broken gimmick. One would assume Anthem Media would have received some sort of payment in exchange. WWE was not involved in the deal, according to multiple sources. The deal was then drafted by the Hardys' lawyers, sent to Anthem Media's Ed Nordholm to sign off on, but for whatever reason, several weeks have gone by without a response from Nordholm or any indication that the agreement was actually going to be signed. One source stated that Nordholm received the agreement in writing. He claimed that it wasn't what the two sides agreed upon, but confirmed since that point that there had been no additional communication with the Hardys' side. The drafted agreement led to Matt Hardy's comment on Twitter that they were close to a resolution on the situation at the time. Impact sources remained steadfast that the two sides were as far apart as ever. While Nordholm could technically sign off on the agreement, Jeff Jarrett's comments during the media conference call today, where he explicitly stated there's been no changes regarding the situation and that Anthem, as producers of Impact Wrestling, hold ownership of the gimmick, sparked Rebby Hardy's latest social media comments. A number of sources we spoke with today believe that unless Nordholm signs off on the agreement, the Hardys will have no last recourse but to file a lawsuit seeking ownership of the gimmick. We spoke to one source today who believes that decisions made by the company during the time period Dixie Carter owned Impact Wrestling were technically breaches of the Hardys' contract, which appears to be the strategy the family would use as their own. So it appeared, while it appeared last week that things were finally calming down between the two sides, it appears yet another volcano may explode due to Nordholm not signing off on the agreement. Whether the Hardys decide to go on the offensive and actually sue remains to be seen, but it appears after all attempts at negotiating and all the back and forth sniping on social media, the stage has indeed been set for a legal showdown. Matt, what do you think of what Mike Johnson had to say this afternoon?
Ed Nordholm and Jeff Jarrett were meant for each other. Because these are two of the biggest dumb fucks that this wrestling industry has ever seen. Like, in absolute seriousness, at this point, I feel that the Hardys have Dixie Carter as their ultimate ace in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this shit goes to court and they can have Dixie testify against Jarrett and Ed Nordholm, and I guarantee you she'd have no problem doing that. And she could admit to things that would have breached their contract. It's done. It's absolutely, positively done. And the fact that they're this stupid and that fucking dumbass owl-loving Ed Nordholm can't fucking put pen to paper and get this shit over with.
Now they get nothing in return now.
That, to me, that's even better. Take the fuckers to court, drain them for everything they've got, close the fucking company because you don't have any more damn money to run it with, and freaking take the broken gimmick for free.
The only judge I could see that would see this case would be Judge Eli Drake, where he would tell Ed and Jeff, based on all the evidence in front of me, dummy, yeah.
Well, I've heard that Eli Drake does not like Jeff Jarrett and company.
Good, Eli, come to NXT, buddy.
Well, I don't know what his contract situation is with them right now, but I have definitely heard that he's not happy in Impact right now compared to what he was a couple months ago. I don't blame him because they've literally downplayed him into nothingness.
Yeah, his position in the company is shit.
Since the Jarrett regime has come there, he's pretty much been a secondhand fiddle to Chris Adonis.
Yep.
And that's just ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I like Chris Adonis, Chris Masters.
Me too.
I've always liked him.
Me too.
I've always felt he's very underrated in the ring. Yeah. He's a good talent.
He's still getting it. He's still getting it done today too.
Yeah, but they are absolutely positively wasting Eli Drake in TNA right now. And I know it's GFW. Blah, blah, blah. Look,
meh.
Yeah, these motherfuckers. Look, if you want to keep on running this company the way that you're running it, you don't deserve to be called anything other than TNA. Because you're still making all the same damn mistakes that made TNA an embarrassment of a company to begin with.
I mean,
everybody wanted to point the finger and blame Dixie Carter. Everybody, like, even me, even you, we all wanted to point the finger and blame Dixie Carter. But let's face it, we were all wrong.
Yeah.
Because at least the company was seemingly ran better under Dixie Carter than it's being ran right now under Jeff Jarrett and Nordholm.
I mean, it would take a real piece of work to make Dixie Carter look like a saint. And, well, we got two real pieces of work right here in Ed Nordholm and Jeff Jarrett.
I used to have a lot of respect for Jeff Jarrett. I really did. But this calendar year, 2017, everything that I've seen and heard and what he's done, all respect out the window. This guy's a carny piece of trash.
Well, that's what Shane Helms said. # Carney.
Yeah,
in his tweet today.
He's dude's 100% right. And you know what? Honestly, I'm kind of happy that Helms is finally out of Impact because I had to unfollow him on social media last year because I got tired of him, standing up for that fucking company. Yeah. And I get it; they're signing your checks. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I refollowed him today. I'm just like, oh, thank God, Helms isn't kissing TNA's ass anymore. Let me give the Hurricane a good old follow-roo on the Twitter machine.
Come back home. Be a manager for a 205 Live guy, man, just like you did with Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee, man.
Dude, you can come in and be an agent. Be an agent for 205 Live, an agent for NXT, agent for WWE, whatever.
Oh, he'd be a great agent for 205 Live.
Yeah, I would not mind having Helms back in the WWE fold.
Yeah. I've always followed Helms because he always has some interesting things to say on Twitter. So
no, and I thought so too, dude. But I got so tired of his
blowing the
TNA
trumpet
ass kissery.
Yeah,
that I couldn't take it anymore. I really couldn't take it.
We need unfollow
him.
We need 2 shirts made stat. Fuck that Owl 2.0 and free Eli Drake. Dummy, yeah.
Sadly, another gimmick he can't take with him.
Yeah. Oh, well. Some sad news, but hopefully in the end it'll be okay. But an update just broke literally about an hour ago from Mike Johnson, PW Insider, former WWE development star, Tough Enough winner Matt Capitelli, announced on his Facebook page that he has diagnosis as N. He has a grade 4 GBM. It's not the news that he's looking forward to hearing or sharing, but says in no way it'll deter him from continuing the fight. He has a spinal tap this Friday to determine if the cancer cells have spread into his spinal fluid. Monday is a follow-up with his team of doctors to determine the treatment steps needed to beat this. Thanks to everyone on Team Cap. So best wishes to Matt for sure, and hopefully we get some good news after the doctor's visits here in the coming week.
Awful.
Yeah.
Just heart breaks for that guy.
spoiler alerts, but not really spoiler alerts. We say that because they put it on Twitter. So, but big news from the NXT tapings. For one, big news that there was NXT tapings. Neither Matt or I knew that. But Kyle O'Reilly makes his debut at the tapings today in Winter Park, Florida at Full Sail. Excellent addition. His Red Dragon buddy, Bobby Fish, debuted on television tonight. It looks like to me from that screenshot, O'Reilly is answering the challenge to Aleister Black as well, doesn't it seem?
Yeah, no, they definitely, spoiler, I won't give the result away, but Kyle O'Reilly did wrestle Aleister Black at the tapings tonight.
Kind of interesting how they're putting Fish and O'Reilly paired up against Black. Maybe I hope Red Dragon reforms because the tag division needs it. That could be the tag team to take the titles off of Authors of Pain. Sorry, spoiler alert for later tonight, but
and honestly, as much as I don't care for Bobby Fish, he's utilized a hell of a lot better when he's paired up with Kyle O'Reilly than a singles guy. So if you got them both there, it's time to reform Red Dragon.
Yeah.
And like I said, that tag team division needs all the help it can get. So
we'll break down the Fish and Black match later on when we get to NXT. It was a good one, actually. Aleister Black's toughest test to date. We'll break that down once we get there. And also, as we mentioned on the post show for Great Balls of Fire, Leo Rush is expected to sign very soon as well. Then hopefully followed by Adam Cole, baby. And I think it's cool that all these Ring of Honor guys are keeping their name.
So far, so good.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, I mean, Adam Cole's a no-brainer. I mean, he's a.
You would think Adam Cole would be a no-brainer, but you got to question if Leo Rush and Donovan Dijak will be keeping their names as well.
I
think those are the biggest question marks.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So.
I don't know about Rush, but I mean, Leo Rush has been Leo Rush all along, even before ROH. But I could see Rush's name changing. I think Dijak would stay Dijak. I would think he had enough equity at Ring of Honor to stay there. But don't bet on it. But we'll see. One more spoiler, not really a spoiler because I mean we've been calling this for months now, but it is now set for August 19th. Takeover Brooklyn 3. Bobby Roode will defend his NXT championship against Drew Galloway. They did
Drew McIntyre.
Mike Johnson put Galloway on the website. Sorry.
It's so hard. That's funny. Mike's on vacation right now,
and all this shit's breaking.
All this fucking news is breaking. He's probably pulling his hair out on the road.
Yeah.
Because he's like, damn it, is
Mike married? Is Mike married?
He's married.
His wife's probably like, you're on vacation!
Yeah, the dude's out on a family vacation right now. And all this news is broken over the past week. It's probably driving him nuts.
Yeah, probably.
So he's literally doing, he's doing his journalism work on the road, on his vacation. All the props in the world to that guy. His work ethic for what's done in pro wrestling is unmatched. And he's the best in the world at what he does.
And that's why he's our number one news source at Lost in the Midcard. But it was announced on tonight's NXT television show that Drew McIntyre will take on Killian Dane next week for the number one contendership for that match. So,
if you really thought the result of that match was in doubt in any way, shape, or form,
yeah,
you haven't been listening to this show.
Plus, another tease of possibly who might be the team to face the Authors of Pain at Takeover Brooklyn.
I haven't seen that as confirmed yet. I have 3 matches confirmed for Brooklyn so far, and that's not one of them.
Didn't I say that would be a good next choice for the Authors? I think I said that
I watched them work. I actually saw that match. They did it at my house show a few weeks back when Sanity worked the babyface role. I thought it was really good. The teams work well together, and they're already doing all the house show loops. So by the time Brooklyn comes around, they'd be ready for that. I haven't seen that as confirmed that that's what's going to happen. I might have even just missed it.
Was it Dane and Alexander teaming up?
Yes.
Or okay, gotta be EY's not.
EY's like off the road right now due to like a family.
His mom passed away.
Yeah, so I mean that's
that's why he's not at the. That's why he's not on TV right now.
That's a hell of a lot more important than pro wrestling. So like for some reason I feel like
I'd assume he'd probably be back at these tapings tonight.
He has not been featured.
Oh really? Okay, maybe
so
taking another month off then.
And there's definitely stuff on this tape in AOP and the authors messing with each other, but I don't see any like confirmation that it's going to happen. Do we want to discuss what we know right now, or
sure? I don't care.
All right, 100% confirmed. On top of Rude and McIntyre, we have the rematch that we all thought was coming. Ember Moon versus Asuka for the women's championship in Brooklyn. I definitely see a title change there. I think it's time. I think Moon wins the title, and I think Asuka gets the call up.
Yep.
I think McIntyre wins and Rude gets called up as well.
That'd be cool.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of title changes in Brooklyn. Rude
needs to be on that main roster now.
Yeah, I agree. And Almas will be facing Johnny Gargano at Brooklyn.
Sweet. Yeah,
those are the matches that are confirmed. I would in pencil, I would say AOP versus Sanity. I mean, it certainly looks like it's going to happen. And there was another one I saw that I thought like another one. I think we're going to get Hideo Itami and Cassius Ohno as well. But that hasn't been confirmed. So, but I mean, that seems like normally they only do like 5 matches. That potentially could be your card.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. You got the 3 title matches. You got Almas and Johnny Gargano, and you got Ono and Hideo. That might be your card.
And what's odd is Aleister Black's not on the main card again for the second straight takeover.
Well, look, maybe they do Black and
O'Reilly?
A mystery partner against O'Reilly and Fish.
CM Punk?
Fucking CM Punk. Stop. I don't
Black and Adam Cole, baby.
That would be nuts.
Yeah,
that would be like I said. Look, Dijak, Leo Rush, Adam Cole, still yet to debut. They're all on their way. You move Rude to the main roster. You move Asuka to the main roster. With all the ROH talents they have coming in and all the new women that they're going to have from this tournament, they're not going to be hurting at all. Like, the only thing they need to worry about right now is the tag division, and I think TM61 should be coming back soon.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly hope so anyway. You can put Red Dragon together. You got Heavy Machinery. You got the Authors of Pain. You got Insanity. I mean, that's got the makings of a decent tag team division down there. It's getting better.
Yeah, and Heavy Machinery is only going to get better. They were kind of thrown into the title match this early into their careers just because of the fact that the tag division sucks now.
They didn't have anybody else. I thought they held their own pretty well tonight.
I
didn't think the match was bad.
No, I told both guys they read their Twitters quite. They basically like everything I say to them, and so they definitely read their Twitter. And I told them I told them both a great match and what was your biggest match to date? I thought it was I thought they had a good showing.
Something might be happening right now.
Did you just see his Twitter blowing up? I always love recording on NXT taping nights.
There is a very good chance that the main event for NXT Brooklyn just changed.
Oh, how so?
It hasn't been confirmed yet. Just based on what's happening, oh god, this is like treading into dangerous spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Air them off it if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah, if you guys don't want to listen to this, like, cut back into us like 2 minutes from now. During the tapings, there was a contract.
That's why there's a fast forward button on the podcasting apps to fast forward 30 or 60 seconds. So yeah, hit that button a couple times and And we'll get back to you.
Yes, exactly. During the NXT taping tonight, there was a contract signing between Rude and McIntyre.
Who interrupted?
Yes, it was interrupted by Roderick Strong,
Oh.
who came out and said he wanted to fight Rude because he's fucking with his family. This wasn't about the title. This wasn't about Brooklyn. This was about Roddy getting his hands on Bobby. And Bobby basically said, if you can beat McIntyre, then I'll fight you after Brooklyn's over. So, main event, currently ongoing, or was currently ongoing, was Roderick Strong and Drew McIntyre. Rude has just come in and attacked both of them. I'm assuming, which renders the match a no contest. Wrestling logic normally dictates when something like this happens,
Triple threat.
that a triple threat ends up occurring. And I kind of feel like
Didn't
we're
your
about
boy-
to get a triple threat for the NXT Championship at Brooklyn. I think I called this a couple weeks ago.
We said that after the Roddy. We said that after the you said you don't think Roddy's done with Bobby, and I said how about a triple threat? And you're like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I honestly, like, as this occurs, I will break in, but I think there might be a really good chance this thing just became a triple threat.
Yeah, after that title match, you and I kind of tag teamed the idea of a triple threat with adding Roddy to that card.
Oh, dude, if this happens, I'm gonna freaking mark out.
Fuck yeah, man! Awesome. Hell of an NXT report there, and we haven't even covered NXT for this week. How about that?
I know, right? Dude, there's so much going on right now.
I have
like
a
the world of
pile.
pro wrestling's just being fucking crazy.
I
Have you
a
heard the
pile.
rumor? Have you heard the rumor for the SummerSlam main event?
Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, like,
Mm-hmm.
dude,
we said that. We said
said that.
Yep.
You know, if that freaking happens, like, holy shit,
I mean,
that is so
obvious-
much cooler than just Roman and Brock one-on-one.
I mean, how many?
So much freaking cooler.
How many times we got to tell these fans that WWE listens to the show? I mean, we said triple threat NXT championship. We said fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. We've said a lot of things, and a lot of those things have happened. I mean, you know, the WWE listens to the show, so you should too, right, Matt?
Well, duh.
Dummy, yeah. See, I haven't done much Eli Drake lately, mainly because they haven't done much with him. Thanks, Jeff. So
Jeff,
I gotta get my Eli quota back up here.
it's my world. I'm a dumbass.
Slap nuts.
I formed a wrestling company and kept it around for 3 years and did absolutely nothing with it, and now we've implanted it on TNA. Hooray for me!
I'm a winner.
You're a dumbass.
Where's my roadie at? He's like Triple H's right-hand man. Sorry.
Ugh. Fucking Jeff Jarrett.
He's more important in the pro wrestling world than you are, Jeff. The roadie is, by the way. Yeah,
How sad is that?
Yeah, he's like the one of the main producers of SmackDown now, which is awesome because I love me some Road Dogg. He was one of my favorites back in the day. He was one of my number one guys in my lifetime. All right, we still have a stack of headlines and probably more breaking news to come the way this week has gone. But one of the best knockouts in TNA history has announced that she is stepping away from the business for some time. Velvet Sky, the current girlfriend of Bully Ray, she has announced that she is going to step away from the business to finish college and also become a personal trainer. So she's going to take a different path in her life at the moment. She said she will still do meet and greets, autograph sessions, and all that. And also she wanted to clarify, a lot of people were saying, a lot of news outlets were saying she retired. That's not the case. She's just stepping away from now. She is not officially retiring. So we wish Velvet the best. WWE has announced that a potential data breach affecting millions of users has happened. Forbes reported this earlier in the week. That an unprotected database containing information on more than 3 million users was open to anyone who knew the web address to search for it. The data included home and email addresses, birth dates, as well as customers' children's ages, age ranges, and genders. We're sitting unprotected in an Amazon Web Services server, and The guy from Forbes believes the database was misconfigured by either WWE or an IT partner, and if it was an IT partner, they're fired. WWE told Forbes they're investigating the situation, but an update on the situation, they did confirm no credit card or password information was included and not at risk. So those people who have credit card information and passwords and all that with the WWE need not to worry, as those are safe. Two more talents were added to the Mae Young Classic in Rhea Ripley and Sage Beckett. Matt, you familiar with those two ladies at all?
Not by those names.
Oh, do they have different names?
I don't know. I haven't looked at any images, but I will tell you by those names, I'm not familiar with either of those names.
And some sad news for one of the competitors in the Mae Young tournament, Nixon Newell. Newell suffered an ACL knee injury, so she will have to miss the Mae Young tournament, the Mae Young Classic. Medusa, Alundra Blaze, she has announced that she will be in helping and be involved in the Mae Classic, so pretty cool to have her involved with that tournament. She said stay tuned for details. And 4 more names were announced after that, which actually just this afternoon, 4 names were announced. You'll recognize one of them for sure. Matt may know more than one of them. WWE announced that UK competitors Katie Lee Ray and Aisha Raymond have been added, as well as Mercedes Martinez and Marty Bell. Of course, you know Marty Bell from her days with Impact Wrestling and even made a mark in the independents before that. And Matt and I, Matt brought up Marty Bell was probably going to be added last week, and sure enough, there she is. Do you know any of the Do you know the other 3 ladies at all, Matt?
I know Mercedes Martinez. The other names slightly ring a bell, but I can't place them at like right off the top of my head. So
where's Mercedes Martinez from?
She's all over the place, dude.
Mm-hmm.
She's good. She's definitely she's a good one. I don't know if they've signed her or not, but she's definitely it's good that they've got her there.
All right, now time for some ratings.
Oh no!
And thanks to this is weird. Thanks to Slammiversary, apparently, I don't know. The Impact audience rose to the biggest number of the year, 345,000, up 80,000 viewers from the week before. So I guess something at Slammiversary got people excited. As for Monday Night Raw, this week a little bit of an increase back to 3 million, a hair over 3 million for the first time since mid-June. The numbers did remain pretty even throughout the 3 hours for Raw. And SmackDown Live pulled in a 2.465 million, also increase of about 150,000 from the week before. So lots of people watching pro wrestling in the past week. Cody Rhodes took to Twitter about a week ago to give us an update on his shoulder. He said, "Good news, the delayed MRI on my shoulder essentially negative. Grade A separation, no surgery, no time off." So Cody Rhodes, the current Ring of Honor World Champion, will be able to compete. D'Angelo Williams, running back in the NFL, was on Adam Schefter's podcast on ESPN and said basically this is a one-and-done thing for him in professional wrestling. Talked about his friendship with Josh Matthews. I don't know why you would have a friendship with Josh Matthews, but I thought D'Angelo looked pretty good in that match at Slammiversary. But I guess he doesn't want to do it anymore. So.
Well, he's looking for a new contract right now.
That's why. He's saying
and the last that he could say, like even if his plan is, I'm gonna go back and do this again, he can't publicly say that right now, because the second he says that, no NFL team is gonna touch him. So he's got to say it's a one and done thing. To me, I felt he did way too good of a job.
Yeah.
For this to be a one and done thing, and as far as I'm concerned, if no NFL team signs him this year, if I'm him, I'm calling up Triple H, and I'm like, I want to come to the Performance Center, and come to WWE, and do it big, instead of doing it with fucking TNA. So, because I think, dude, like, he was only training for like a month, and he looked like, table spot at the end aside and he overshot the table.
Yeah.
He looked like he'd been doing it for years.
Oh, he looked
he looked
great.
Really, really good. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
With how good he looked in the ring. So yeah, I honestly, I hope he does pursue a pro wrestling career after his NFL career, because I think he's got too much talent there to let it go to waste.
Pretty cool collection added this past Monday to the WWE Network, the Piper's Pit collection, chronicling the very first Piper's Pit in 1984 all the way to its last installment in 2014, and a bunch of other ones in between. All the classics, with Jimmy Snuka, Morton Downey Jr., and many more in between. There's a ton of editions of the Piper's Pit in there, so definitely something I'm going to check out here sometime soon. Couple of new champions also crowned in the past week in the independent worlds. New PWG champion, congrats to Chuck Taylor. He defeated Zack Sabre Jr. to win the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Championship. Chuck Taylor is basically the guy that got me started following the independents probably about 10 or 12 years ago. So I'm a big fan of Chuck Taylor, so very cool to see him capture the PWG Championship. And another great wrestler captured the CZW Championship, Shane Strickland. You may not know that name, but you may know Killshot, who's an amazing wrestler in Lucha Underground. He captured the Combat Zone Wrestling Championship also about a day later, defeating Davey Richards, Leo Rush, and Joe Gacy. So congrats to Taylor and Strickland for their championship wins. One Global Force update also from the conference call. Jeff Jarrett announced that Bound for Glory will be on Sunday, November 5th, and they are looking to add another pay-per-view date in 2018, potentially locked down. New Japan Pro Wrestling has launched their G1 Climax site. If you go to g1climax.jp, you can see full cards for every show that are available there. So far, 2 title matches have been announced on the final day of August 13th, where the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships will be defended by the Young Bucks. They take on Ricochet and Taguchi. And also the Tag Team Championships are going to be up for grabs as well. War Machine, the champions, will take on Cody Rhodes and Hangman Page. And the blocks have been announced for the G1 Climax tournament. And in Block A, we have Bad Luck Fale, Hiroki Goto, Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii, Makabe, Nagata, Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., Tanahashi, Yoshihashi. In a Block B, we have Michael Elgin, Evil, Kojima, Okada, Kenny Omega, Juice Robinson, Sonata, Suzuki, Tamatonga, and Toru Yano. That is a loaded frickin' tournament, Matt.
Indeed.
Very interesting to see if it's Okada or Omega coming out of Block B, or if someone just surprises the shit out of everyone. Maybe a Mike Elgin. Maybe Juice Robinson. Those are the only two I could see maybe pulling off an upset, but it's probably going to be Okada or Omega. Block A, I'd give the lead to Ibushi or Tanahashi there. Maybe a surprise. Maybe Naito. Which was, coming off a loss against Ishii. I don't know if he's got a lot of momentum or not, but very, very loaded and very interested to see how that plays out. I think I'm going to be signing up for New Japan World, Matt.
There you go.
Now that the app is on the old Amazon stick, definitely think I'm going to do that. Kevin Kelly has announced that he has finally officially stepped down from Ring of Honor. Thanked everyone who made the last 7 years so fun. He's going to now focus on New Japan as well as new opportunities. Bill Goldberg is coming to Maryland Championship Wrestling, and so he's going to be coming there on September 30th during the Shamrock Cup for tribute to the legends. Matt, you ever attended one of those Shamrock Cups?
Yeah, a few years back I attended one of them.
You gonna make that one for Goldberg?
I might, depending on how much he's charging for an autograph. I might venture out there and meet the man. So I've always been a big Goldberg fan. One of the few talents that I really like that I've actually never got to meet. So like if the autograph asking prices aren't outrageous, I'll probably venture my way out there and go to that.
Good deal. And now we have a full list of the competitors for the Battle of Los Angeles, which starts on September 1st. We got Flamita, Keith Lee, Walter, Travis Banks, Phoenix, Desmond Xavier, Donovan Dijak, Jeff Cobb, Trevor Lee, Flash Morgan Webster, Zack Sabre Jr., Sammy Guevara, Mark Haskins, Jonah Rock, Brian Cage, Ray Horace, Marty Scurll, Michael Elgin, TK Cooper, Matt Sydal, Sammy Callahan, Matthew Riddle, Ricochet, and Penta L0M, which is, I guess, the now official name for Pentagon Jr., since Lucha's being dicks about that. A lot of Lucha, some New Japan, some Ring of Honor. Good mix there, as always, for the Battle of Los Angeles. On the latest Dinner with the King podcast, Jerry Lawler said TNA contacted him about coming to work for TNA after he left SmackDown. He goes, during that time, I did get a call from Jeff Jarrett saying, "Hey, we're just wondering if you re-signed with the WWE or not." It was one of those things that I got back to him and I said I did re-sign. Sorry. On possibly bringing King and JR back together, he said, without a doubt, I'm sure that was what was in their minds, possibly in the mind of JR's as well. Well, that would have been a hell of a lot better than Josh Matthews and the Pope. I'll tell you that much.
You ain't fucking lying.
All right, we got through the headlines. Any more breaking news while that happened?
No, it seems like the tapings ended there.
So ended in uncertainty.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't be surprised if they do a backstage
William
thing with
Regal thing,
and sign it without people knowing, and reveal it closer to the pay-per-view. Because I don't see any reason why Roderick Strong should be taken off this show.
No, exactly.
You know, like he definitely should be a part of Brooklyn. So, yeah, I feel like the way that they just set this up, to me, it makes perfect sense for Rude to have to defend his title in a triple threat match in Brooklyn. So I hope that's what happens.
NXT tonight starts off with looking back at Ciampa's turn on Gargano at NXT TakeOver Chicago. And we are welcomed to Full Sail by Amaro, Nigel, and Percy. They show footage of Strong losing to Rude last week. And then the amazing entrance of Aleister Black kicks off the show. And I think Mike Rome is the ring announcer. So Mike Rome said, making his NXT debut. And out came Bobby Fish. We all know Bobby Fish from Ring of Honor. We've talked about him on this show a lot. Matt's talked about how much he hates him a lot. But I love Fish. I actually met Fish in Dallas, got to talk with him a little bit during one of the Ring of Honor events, and real cool guy. I'm glad I had a chance to talk with him a little bit. Matt, I think you'd go as far as to say this was Aleister Black's toughest test to date, right?
I don't know. I thought his match with Ono was probably his toughest match to date, but it was still a good match.
Yeah, love it.
And I would definitely give the edge to Ono, and Black is Black's toughest challenge in NXT to date. But they certainly didn't bury Fish in his debut.
No, no.
You know, and it's been so formulatic lately anyway. So many debuts, and they automatically win their first match.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to do that. You know, you can make somebody look good in their debut in defeat by putting on a hell of a match. And I felt
a lot of times
it was a hell of a way to open up the match. So
a lot of times you have a debut guy winning, and then you put him on a winning streak, and then he loses, and then what do we do with him? You know, they kind of all of a sudden you have him lose, and hopefully that's not what they're going to do with Ty Dillinger. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, a great match with Black and Fish. It's so good to see Bobby Fish in NXT, and his old tag partner Kyle O'Reilly is not too far behind. The crowd was kind of quiet for this one. I don't
think it was an accident that they both debuted against the same guy.
Yeah,
that was not done by accident. There's something to that.
Yep.
So
the crowd should have been more into it, but I think this was the last of the tapings, so I think they were pretty worn out by this point, I'm assuming. Especially if the last thing they saw before this was Rude and Strong. So probably a tough act to follow there. But Aleister Black with the Black Mass kick, which is always impressive looking. He gets the win, but a lengthy match. Great match, great debut for Fish. Looking forward to more from him. So basically, what was taped tonight? Early parts the first taping will be next week's show, right? Or
no, and they've got another week in the can. Okay. For next week, because what match did they announce for next week? And I know Gillian Dane and McIntyre, and I know that's already been taped.
Yeah, okay. And Ruby Riott and Ember Moon.
Yeah, so I mean that was definitely a part of that taping. And then they've already taped for the rest. I think they're taped all the way to Brooklyn.
I think tonight.
So I think tonight's tapings put them all the way to Brooklyn. So
yeah. They showed footage of Hideo Itami and Ono losing to Sanity last week, and they show backstage footage when Ono tried to talk to Itami. Itami blames Cassius for the loss, and Ono says Itami, all he's done since Chicago is blame people. He says, Itami, you need to take some accountability for your actions. Ono says he's a man of actions and he's done talking. We then get ourselves a promo. Hey, we're building the tag division back up again, as a new team has been put together. One guy you're going to recognize in Angelo Dawkins. He used to tag with Sawyer Fulton. Who was now in Sanity, but I don't know if he's going to be back with Sanity or not. Word is he was at the tapings tonight, so I don't know how that goes down. He is tagging with Montez Ford, and they are going to be known as the Street Profits. Matt, what'd you think of that vignette tonight? Meh?
Honestly, I didn't even know it was a vignette until like the final 15 seconds.
It looks I recognized Angelo right away, so I knew it was something coming down.
Seriously, it was not something that captured my attention. So
I'm interested to see how these two look like they could work together pretty good. So I'm kind of interested to see how they come about. They're going to be called Street Profits. They're coming soon.
They actually debuted at these tapings tonight. So
yeah, I was going to say hopefully it's not like an Emma coming soon and it's 17 weeks later.
No, they debuted at the tapings tonight. I think they actually wrestled twice. So
Velveteen, one of the ladies trying to interview Velveteen Dream, he wouldn't have any of that.
Hey, your butt. Any spare change?
Hey, your buddy
that
Leo's
was my
coming
favorite
soon.
part.
Your buddy Leo's coming soon. Get happy. We had a qualifying match for the Mae Young Classic. Vanessa Bourne defeated Jamie Hatchie in about 2 or 3 minutes. They showed footage of last week after NXT went off the air when Sanity beat up Drew McIntyre outside in the back in the parking lot. William Regal in his office with Bobby Roode and says that Regal says McIntyre and Dane are both undefeated and showing interest in the title. And Bobby says they're both smart businessmen. And NXT Universe pays good money to see the champ in action. And Bobby says he could beat both of them any day of the week, and he suggests putting Drew in the ring against Killian Dane. And Regal goes, "Oh, you just want to see these men take each other out." But he says the match would interest a lot of people. So McIntyre and Dane will face off next week. The winner gets Rude in Brooklyn. Johnny Gargano made his return to NXT to a thunderous ovation from the crowd. Lots of Johnny wrestling chants, loud and strong for him. Johnny talks about what happened in Chicago and also says he's not here to dwell on the past, here to look to the future. And so good stuff from Johnny wrestling, and then they played a new theme music for him. So I was kind of wondering if he would get the DIY music or they would go a different direction. It sounds like they played a different tune for him at the end of the promo, but good stuff from Johnny Gargano, and as Matt just said, he'll take on Andrade Cien Almas. Do you think that'll be a takeover, or do you think that'll be a taped before the main card thing? That might be a taped before the mid-card thing, and that would enable Ono and Itami to get on the card, maybe, and there's one other match we were thinking of. Something with Aleister Black.
Yeah.
I think Gargano and I think that would be best served to be put on the NXT after Takeover thing.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like it's going to be. So
okay.
That match is pretty much confirmed for being on Brooklyn. So
okay. I didn't know if that was confirmed. Like, it looked in that direction, or if it was confirmed.
No, that was one of the ones that was confirmed.
Okay. And main event, NXT Tag Team Championships, Heavy Machinery against Authors of Pain. Matt, I thought this was a great match. Made sense for the Authors of Pain to retain just because Heavy Machinery is still kind of new, getting their feet wet, but have already made a name for themselves, and great experience here, I think, also having a tag team title match with Akam and Razor. But the big boys, they definitely went here in the main event, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought the two teams worked really well together. Like, I enjoyed the main event a lot.
And god damn, how about that belly to belly that Dozovich put on one of those guys? Woo! Dude's as tall as he is wide. Fucking brick house. But in the end, the last chapter for the 1, 2, 3. But as the credits are about ready to roll on this week's NXT, Sanity comes out, and papers start falling from the sky, which looked like they might have been pages from Paul Ellering's book. So Sanity trying to get under the skin of Authors of Pain. This could be your tag team title match at Brooklyn, possibly. God. Is it? It's a little weird, because, I mean, these are two heel teams. The crowd probably pull for Sanity in this kind of thing?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Like I said, Sanity worked the baby face role at the house show. So I would think the same would be said for that match.
I'm all for them being the next contenders up for that championship. Monday Night Raw this week, and the Monday Night Raw after Great Balls of Fire live from Houston, Texas. Big Cass walks out to his new theme song, and
so bad.
Cut his promo basically saying, yeah, I did what I said I was going to do. Beat up Enzo. Fans chanted Cass Hole at him. Cass sent a message to the locker room from the bottom of the totem pole straight to the top. And to all the doubters, he will be Universal Champion one day. And he's going to take that title high and shove it down each and every one of your throats. That's going to take a while, Cass. He says he will represent the WWE to the fullest and claim that nobody will be able to touch him. Nobody can look him eye to eye. Cue the Big Show. Which, hey, who predicted that one as the first feud for Cass as a heel?
Meh.
This guy. What'd you think of Cass's promo to kick off Raw, Matt?
I thought the promo was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not thrilled about the feud, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, Big Show and Strowman surprised us, so why can't Big Show and Cass surprise us? Right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Big pop, though, for the Big Show. Obviously, the fans love the Big Show still, but also, I mean, Cass is getting heat, which, hey, good job on the turn there. So there you go. Elias Sampson in the ring for his weekly concert. He wrote a song about Finn Balor, but Balor interrupted it before he could get too far into it. Basically, a leftover match that couldn't get fit into Great Balls of Fire happened right here. Finn Balor defeats Elias Sampson in about 10 minutes, and with the coup de grace. And then the Hardy Boys showed up as Finn's on top of the ramp, and pretty cool moment. Finn Balor does the delete motion to basically usher the Hardys to the ring. You think I know there was a lot of buzz when they put these three guys together. Do you think there might be some kind of partnership going forward, especially once the Hardys go broken? You think that Balor might be involved with them somehow?
Anything's possible, and while they have nothing, they clearly seems like they have nothing for Finn Balor to do right now. I guess it would work.
Broken Balor sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh God!
What's Finn's middle name?
Not even. No. I don't know about all that, man.
Yeah, I'm just joking. But it seems like they have interest in having these three guys kind of be aligned at some point. So I don't know. See where it goes. Now comes the good part. Hardy Boys are in the ring. They congratulated Balor on his victory against Elias Sampson. And Jeff started out the promo saying that they came up 1 second short against Sheamus and Cesaro. He says he knows the teams in the back think the Hardys are past their prime, so maybe they should just fade away and classify themselves as obsolete. Matt, what was going through your mind when Jeff said that?
Dude, I marked out during the whole promo. So, and then of course, here comes Ed douchebag Nordholm and dumbfuck Jeff Jarrett to try to ruin it all. So,
Matt said they're here to make a proclamation. He says that they are nowhere near done and they're going to make magic in the WWE. That prompted the Magic Killers, Gallows and Anderson, to show up and said that they're the ones saying the Hardys are done. And Anderson said the only thing they have proven is that they're just old Hardy Boys. And Gallows said those nerds need to get out of the ring and practice their magic elsewhere because we are the Magic Killers. Matt points out that they're a little banged up, a little stitched up, and somewhat broken. Big pop for that. How about we bring out a referee to determine who the better team is right now? We got a referee. And so the Hardys took on Gallows and Anderson, lasted about 7 minutes. Gallows and Anderson landed the Magic Killer for the win. This was a win for all of us all around because, Matt, I think the Hardys are going on a losing streak, which will end up breaking them, correct?
And it certainly seems to be what they wanted to do, but I mean, who knows what the last 48 hours might have done and changed in this story. So
yeah, if they've got enough proof, I'm sure Vince will say, "Yeah, pal, go for it. If you need one of my lawyers, here you go, pal." After the match, the Revival came out and they beat up on the Hardys and hit their Shatter Machine on Jeff, which proves that we're going to go further down the spiral to break these guys. Hopefully Ed Nordholm didn't fuck that up, but at the same time, it sounds like the Hardys got enough to prove. Miz TV, he was giving away the Mizzies, but they're definitely no marquees, right, Matt?
They're so stupid.
Yeah, the Mizzies, it was not. We all knew what it was going to be. They were all going to award themselves trophies and do speeches. Blah, 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 blah. Dean Ambrose came out after his name was mentioned about by The Miz, and Ambrose tackles The Miz in the ring, but the Miztourage jumps on Dean. And here comes Seth Rollins for the save. And so Ambrose and Rollins in the ring to clear out after they cleared out The Miz and the Miztourage. After the commercial, they were backstage, and Ambrose asked him what the hell he was doing, and Rollins said, he's not going to let The Miz talk about me like that. Ambrose says, this isn't going to happen. There's not going to be a Shield reunion. I fight my own battles. And Rollins said, well, fine. Sasha Banks and Bayley made their entrance. They replayed Nia Jax jobbing Bayley out the week before. We got ourselves a tag match: Sasha Banks and Bayley against Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Went about 9 minutes. Not a terrible match, Matt. Did you think?
Match was fine. Nothing right home about it. It was just fine. The finish was certainly surprising.
Yeah, how about Bayley getting a win over the champion? Does that help kind of rebuild things? In your mind?
I don't know. Let's see what they do with her next week.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't have gotten any lower than what they did when Nia took her out the week before. Now she's pinning the champion. We go into another fatal four-way here at SummerSlam.
I don't tease that. We already have one potential fatal four-way. We don't need this.
Yeah. Goldust cut a promo from his director's chair. Nice little quote from Reservoir Dogs. He said the Shattered Truth Part 2 is coming soon, and ended it with a for about the 80th time, they showed the video package of Strowman and Reigns from Great Balls of Fire. And they then aired a very sweet, awesome, kick-ass commercial for WWE 2K18 featuring Kurt Angle looking at all the wreckage that Seth Rollins had caused, setting the memorabilia of the WWE on fire, and Kurt Angle looking like an Avenger ready to whoop some ass. How great was that commercial, Matt?
I think the whole marketing campaign sucks. So
you don't like it?
No,
you didn't like the Angle thing either? Oh,
no,
wow.
I don't like any of it. I think it's stupid and corny, and I really wish 2K would take all the money that they're spending on these stupid commercials and actually use it to improve their fucking games.
I kind of dug the Angle one.
Look, it's clever. They want to bridge their commercial promos together, but to me, the whole thing's just stupid.
Next up is our Dust and Gold Truth. Our Truth and Goldust. That went about 5 minutes. Goldust with his spinning slam. That's not the curtain call, is it?
I don't remember the finish, so I couldn't tell you.
So Goldust gets rid of Truth in 5 minutes. Kurt Angle makes his entrance to the ring, big ovation, big "you suck" chants, and all that fun stuff, and said that Strowman is injured, not sure when he's going to return. Angle said the show must go on, so he introduced champion Brock Lesnar. Lesnar came out with Paul Heyman. Angle said 14 years at WrestleMania, Lesnar defeated him for the WWE Championship in a hell of a match. Angle said Lesnar probably took a few years off of Angle's career in that match. He's amazed that Lesnar keeps getting better. Angle congratulated Lesnar on still being champion. And Heyman said their names while Angle asked Angle if there's anything else. And Angle said to Heyman, "Oh, maybe you're curious about my idea for SummerSlam." And Heyman said, "They'd always do brainstorming in public." Heyman said that they'll leave Angle to his corporate issues and personal problems, but then Roman Reigns' music hit. Reigns got in the ring, and Angle told Heyman that we're not done with this conversation. Angle told Reigns he's got a lot of nerve showing up after what he did at Great Balls of Fire. Reigns said he's standing in the ring with Angle, Lesnar, and the father of hardcore, Paul Heyman. pointing out all these guys were in the Attitude Era, and that blew everything up. I mean, hell, Vince blew himself up. That wasn't in the Attitude Era, but I had to bring that one in.
Just terrible explanation. So garbage.
Yeah, and Angle's response was good. That's not now. This is now. Reigns said they don't know how to handle Strowman, and turned to Brock and said, "You're never around here to do so." The crowd kind of oohed at that one. And Reigns says, if anything, I did a favor by taking out Strowman. Lesnar grabbed the microphone and asked Reigns if he thinks he deserves a title shot. Lesnar said, "You don't deserve shit," which led to great reactions by Heyman and Angle, which led to an epic GIF that went all over Twitter.
Well, when Brock speaks the truth.
Yeah, that was about the best way you could put it, right? You don't deserve shit.
Yeah.
Because you lost at Great Balls of Fizire.
And he lost the month before, too. Like, why the fuck does this bitch think he deserves a title shot? Sit your ass down.
Now, the mute button was our finger was on the mute button, so I think Vince knew. I think yeah, Lesnar, wink, wink. Say you can cuss, wink, wink, and Lesnar told Reigns, "This is as close as you're gonna get because you don't deserve it." Samoa Joe makes his way down to the ring and says, "You're all living in a fantasy land." Joe said, We're gonna drag your asses all the way back down to reality." Lesnar said, "The reality is, I kicked your ass last night." That got a nice pop. Joe said sooner or later he's going to put Brock's ass to sleep, and said Lesnar didn't beat him, he escaped him. And Joe told Reigns that Roman has not even ever beat him. Heyman said the big dog that put Undertaker in retirement deserves a title shot. Joe, you will never ever get another title match. Lesnar got in Joe's face as Angle separated him. Joe told Lesnar that Heyman knows Joe has Lesnar's number. Reigns talks some trash to Joe, so now Joe and Reigns get in each other's face. Reigns says, "Look at him and look at Strowman if you can find him." Because Joe mentioned that he lost to Strowman. Angle said they all had grueling matches last night, so next week, Reigns and Joe, the winner of that match, faces Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at SummerSlam. And Angle said, "Now let's walk away calmly." And he actually got order restored. And there you go. Matt, you told me this was kind of the rumor. The rumor was this match was actually going to occur on Raw, but they're going to do it next week. And I said, "What the fuck?" And you said...
Yeah, you were not happy. There was a lot of caps locks.
And you said,
in your reply,
"Let it play out."
Me telling you ahead of time what was going to happen.
And you said, "Let it play out." I'm like, all right. I watched it play out, and I thought it was a great fucking segment. I loved it. I know what's going to happen. I think you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to come back next week. And
someone's not going to be finished with somebody?
I'm not finished with you. No contest.
And just think the fucker would have been finished with him if the fucker would have just taken his loss like a man and not been a fucking bitch and tried to murder him afterwards.
I know, that fucking murderer. Somebody showed Reigns get arrested for like a DUI or something way back when.
No idea.
There was like a mugshot of Reigns. Somebody's been posted on Twitter. And goes, "This is the face of a murderer."
Attempted murder anyway.
Great fucking segment though, right?
Yeah, as long as they do the right thing next week, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends on what they do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if the rumors are correct, it'll be awesome. So,
Corey Graves unprofessional again as he gets up while they're on camera. They go to commercial. Angle's in his office looking at his phone, all worried about something. Graves shows up, and Angle says, "I got the same text you got." Angle says, "Can't let this get out." And Angle talks about how his career could be in jeopardy. He might have to say goodbye. Angle spoke about how he might have to share it with the world next week. Graves says he has all the confidence in the world that everything will be okay. Angle said, "Really?" And Graves said, "Nothing," and left. And Angle looking worried. We'll get to more of that in a little bit. 205 Live time, Neville and Noam Dar took on Akira Tozawa and Cedric Alexander ahead of the I Quit match on 205 Live. The good guys won after 9 minutes, so good to see the Cruiserweights get some time on Raw. They have been doing a lot better job with that lately. Rollins does a interview with Charlie Caruso, then Bray Wyatt does a promo after that, as they are going to main event Raw this week, or not main event Raw this week. Actually, yeah, main event Raw this week. We're already at the end of it. So a rematch from Great Balls of Fire. I thought it was a great main event. It went 17 minutes. And if I was to bet the farm on 50-50 booking, I would have. I was pleasantly surprised that Bray Wyatt got the win. I thought it was a great main event, though, and very cool that they're giving Bray momentum. Matt, what did you think of the main event tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Also surprised that Bray won back-to-back nights. The 2K18 cover curse continues.
And then of course, the injured eye came into play at the end of the match, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious. I'm really curious to know what the plans are for Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. Because it seems like they're building him for something, and I can't figure out what the fuck it's supposed to be.
Man, maybe. Okay, let me throw this at you. This is probably way far-fetched, but what if Braun Strowman just wipes out Joe and Reigns to where he demands with Kurt Angle that it's a one-on-one match at SummerSlam? You put Roman in against Bray, and Bray wins that feud. Yet another feud, another high-profile match against one of the big dogs, no pun intended. What do you think about that? I think it's far-fetched because I think we're heading to a fatal four-way.
I think that's awful. Because Reigns and Bray Wyatt have been done to death.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see it again.
Who would you put in at SummerSlam for Wyatt and continue the momentum?
I'm not going to say it's continuing the momentum.
Well, 2 wins in a row against Seth Rollins, I call that momentum.
No, I'm saying, like, I think who I would put him against, the momentum would stop at SummerSlam. And I would restart the feud that they teased months ago, and I'd put him in there with Finn Balor.
Yeah, because now it sounds like Rollins is going to go for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam.
Well, it looks like it could be Rollins, Dean, and Miz in a triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, honestly, if you got to do something with Balor, and he's on the outside looking into the title picture right now. So, like, they teased doing the Bray Balor feud when Bray came over to Raw in the shakeup.
Yeah.
So maybe they do Bray and the Demon at SummerSlam. So,
I mean, they're not really pushing Balor right now.
Well, he looks like he just wrapped up his deal with the Drifter.
Sam.
So they've got to do something else with him on the road to SummerSlam. So, Bray's as decent shot as any at this point.
What I'm saying is Bray may go over Balor in this case.
Not a chance.
I mean, they haven't really been pushing Balor.
Have you seen Bray Wyatt's win-loss record?
Yeah,
he's not beating Finn Balor at SummerSlam.
Well, you said he wasn't beating Seth Rollins either, but then you changed your mind.
He's not beating Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Period. And I'm not changing my mind.
End of the night, Angle is in the office. He told somebody to come here next week, and we'll do it together. He said neither of them have anything to be ashamed of. Angle told the person to come to Raw next week, and we'll tell the world together. Angle said, I love you, and bye. And there's the cliffhanger, and what I said months ago, I think is coming to reality. Angle had an affair with Stephanie.
Yeah, I'm thinking I definitely think it's Stephanie. So,
yep. You heard it here first, months ago. Hey, we've said that a lot on the show, haven't we, Matt?
Well, when we're right, we're right. It's not our fault, so we have to tell you so.
Yep, exactly. Pretty solid Raw. Leads into 205 Live. Kicked off the night with Tozawa against Davari. And this one didn't go too far before Neville had interfered. And man, Neville with a trip on Tozawa on the apron. And Tozawa sold that baby like a champ. Neville continued the attack and then put on the Rings of Saturn, and nobody came there. Nobody was there to save him, as Titus was gone from 205 Live this week. They showed footage when Drew Gulak decided to take to the top rope and fly against his morals, and crashed and burned. And so then he, in a political statement, apologized for his lowering his standards. You like the Drew Gulak thing, Matt?
Something for them to do. I don't love it. I don't hate it either. But yeah, it's a storyline for the cruiserweights to do. So I can't really fault it too much because they don't have a whole lot of storylines worth doing on that show at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat you are. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Rich Swann come out, took on a guy by the name of Mario Connors. We thought this was going to be a jobber match, but Connors actually had some offense and looked pretty decent here. But in the end, Rich Swann hits the Phoenix Splash for the 3 count. TJ Perkins grabbed the mic and said, I could do it better than you, and challenged the Mario Connors to a match again. And well, that one, he said he could beat the time that Rich Swann took to beat Connors, which was 3 minutes and 49 seconds. Well, that dude just got freaking beat by Rich Swann, so he didn't last that long against TJ Perkins. Just basically showing that TJ's still, the cocky guy that he has been since he turned heel. Jack Gallagher. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't Jack Gallagher. Brian Kendrick dressed as Jack Gallagher and basically making fun of him, calling him a fraud, a third-rate William Regal, as he is obviously in the feud with Jack. Jack comes out and apologizes for interrupting, but thinks that Kendrick is a clown. And he's been fighting since he was 16. He knows this is a privilege, not a right. And then Jack hits a headbutt on Kendrick. But then Kendrick gets the upper hand with a ton of umbrella shots. And we end it there with Jack Gallagher hurting in the ring. What do you think of that segment here on 205 Live this week? Not into it?
Not really.
Were you into the main event, though? The I Quit match, Noam Dar, Cedric Alexander.
Oh, yeah, these guys busting their ass.
This was a great main event.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander was getting pretty ruthless there, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do in an I Quit match, man.
Man, putting the guy's fingers through the, whatever you call them, the metal pieces that hold the turnbuckle up there, man. Woo! But then the end, putting Dar's arm in a chair and telling him to say quit, and Dar said no, so Alexander stomped the shit out of the chair. Finally, Dar says he quits. Cedric Alexander wins a phenomenal main event on 205 Live, but that's not all, as in the end, he's telling Alicia Fox that he's got women all over the world, and we're through. So he breaks up with Foxy. So that, everything basically came to an end at the end of 205 Live there, didn't it, Matt?
Pretty much.
Long feud, the love, romance, all that fun stuff. So, there you go. Great I Quit match, though, by those guys. Well done. SmackDown Live this week. We are in San Antonio, Texas. AJ Styles kicks off the show, your new United States champion. He says he will never say he's the face of America, but since Kevin Owens looks like a monkey's butt, this is definitely an upgrade. And Styles said it wasn't too long ago that a U.S. champion wanted to prove himself every time he was in the WWE ring, would take on all comers. It was called the U.S. Open Challenge. Styles says it's time we bring that back. I believe that was 2 years ago when John Cena did it. Styles says this championship's been overlooked, and from now on, when you see somebody with the U.S. title, you know that they will be the best. So great job by Styles putting over that title, huh, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be. And when it's on a talent like as high level as AJ Styles, AJ helps elevate the title. And I honestly, I hope he has a nice long run with that championship, and they get it back to being as important as it has been over the years.
Yeah, I definitely have a wish list of guys I'd like to see answer that open challenge, led by Ty Dillinger. I think Dillinger and Styles will have a great match, but Styles can have a great match with anybody. That's what makes the U.S. Open Challenge exciting. I mean, this is our 2016 Wrestler of the Year for the Marquis. AJ Styles is going to have a great match no matter what. He's going to do. He may even do it better than John Cena. And John Cena put on some of the best matches of the year 2 years ago. In those matches, he had some phenomenal matches against obviously Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes. He was Stardust then, I think. Like that. So I think Ty Dillinger is a good one. Who else would you like to see answer the call for the Open Challenge?
Man, there's a lot of people they can do, and I think the thing with SmackDown being quote unquote the land of opportunity, they need to really mix it up and do some surprising answers, and letting some people shine in these matches, all the while Styles retaining. So
Jason Jordan, Tyler Breeze would be a good one. I think Breeze and Styles could tear the house down.
Yeah, I think they could do a lot of good stuff with this if they let him do it.
So AJ Styles said it is now officially open for the U.S. Open Challenge, and John Cena's music hits. Big pop from the crowd in San Antonio for John Jack Cena. And Cena goes, "Oh, let me guess. Anybody but me is here for the eligible for the Open Challenge." And Styles said, "No, especially you." Cena said he accepts, but and Little H comes down to the ring. Greg Hamilton gets ready to do the intro for both guys, but then Kevin Owens kills the boner. And who didn't see that coming?
I am never going to refer to Kevin Owens and a boner killer in the same sentence. But all right, that is a very weird statement you wish to just put together, and I'm just not. I'm not even going there.
KO said nobody wants to see another stupid Cena Styles match, though they may have match of the year at the Rumble. So maybe we do want to see it, KO. As they were going back and forth with KO, Rusev attacks Cena from behind. Owens comes in and joins in on the fun. And Teddy Long will come out and make a tag match later, player.
Holla, holla.
Singh Brothers introduce Jinder Mahal. He takes on the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger. And, I guess they didn't want us to remember that Dillinger's undefeated in singles competition because, he basically took the job against Jinder Mahal, and it was not that pretty.
This was the wrong spot for him to be in. Honestly, the best person they could have put Chad Gable in this spot. Yeah. They've let him have two great losing effort singles matches in a row, 2 weeks in a row, with Styles and with Owens. Gable could have been somebody to be put in this spot because eventually they're going to put American Alpha, back together, and it's not going to really matter anyway. Unless Jason Jordan is revealed to be Kurt Angle's illegitimate child next week on Raw, and then you'll know why Chad Gable's been by himself for the last couple of weeks. I don't fucking know.
Nah, it's gonna be Hornswoggle,
dude. It could be anything because WWE is ridiculous. But
the thing that gets me
I
is
just think Ty hadn't lost in singles competition since being on the main brand. It just
At no point the announcers mentioned that, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, yeah,
they wanted us to forget it.
He just lost with, no fanfare whatsoever.
Yeah,
it was an absolutely meaningless match.
They didn't want us to remember the fact that he's undefeated. Yeah. So they're like, oh, let's put an L on there.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was the dumb.
Jinder, after the match, says he's going to bring that Punjabi prison with him next week to SmackDown on the Go Home show for Battleground. New Day comes out. The Usos come out. Xavier Woods took on Jey Uso in a very quick match, only 3 minutes. The ref had kicked everybody at ringside out of the match, and then Xavier Woods with his very cool kind of 3/4 coast to coast off the top rope elbow drop on Jay hanging from the ropes, and that got him the win. So cool to see Xavier Woods get the W. Shane McMahon is talking to D. Bryan on the phone, and that means we won't see D. Bryan on Talking Smack this week. Bummer.
Yeah, I instantly hated that.
Yeah. Naomi showed up, wondered who she's going to defend her title against, and then all the rest of the women showed up, and Shane announced that we're going to have a fatal 5-way elimination, or not a fatal 5-way, a 5-way elimination match at Battleground. Charlotte, Becky, Natalya, Tamina, and Lana. Winner, last one standing, gets Naomi at SummerSlam. It can't be anybody other than Charlotte, right, Matt?
I would say it's going to be Charlotte. I think the fact that you're making them wait till SummerSlam, it just makes sense that it's Charlotte. I think it's bullshit Naomi gets a pay-per-view off. Again, and it doesn't have to defend her title. I just think that's so fucking stupid. Like, unless Carmella's going to cash in on her.
My guess on that, Matt, is I think she's going to be at ringside on commentary, and Carmella sneak attacks her with the briefcase.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just think I hate when a pay-per-view comes around and there's a chance to do a title match and they decide not to do one. There's 5 people in this match. You're trying to tell me you couldn't have just made it a 4-way elimination and took the 5th girl and put them in a match with Naomi for the title? They couldn't have done like Natty and Naomi at Battleground or something.
Now that Tamina's paired up with Lana, so to speak, you could have had Tamina challenge her.
Yeah, just something. It's really weird the way they did it. But yeah, I definitely feel like Charlotte is the hands-on favorite to win that thing.
Renee Young interviews Baron Corbin. They showed highlights of Nakamura getting attacked backstage, and Corbin says that Nakamura needs to learn that Baron is Mr. Money in the Bank and Nakamura is not. And then with a shit-eating grin on Corbin's face, he said when he's done with him, it'll be sayonara, Nakamura. Nakamura makes his awesome entrance into the arena. Baron Corbin makes his entrance with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Corbin is John with a fan at ringside, and, well, before the match could even get going, Nakamura had a little something for Corbin. They start fighting, and referees and officials pull them apart. Obviously, this makes sense because this should be on a pay-per-view, and so this was the way to put it on the pay-per-view, and later on it was announced that this will be a Battleground match. So, Styles in the locker room. John Cena approaches him. Cena says in the future he is going to accept that challenge. Styles mentioned again the last time they were in the ring together, he won't forget it. Styles says, I'm holding this title, it means I'm the best. Cena says he respects that because you don't just give respect, you earn it. And Cena said to Styles that when you need me tonight, I've got your back. And Styles said, I've got yours too. So a pretty cool sign of show of respect between Styles and Cena now that they're both on the same side. Both baby faces now. I thought that was a pretty cool segment. Tag match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte against Natalya and Tamina. And this one went about 9 minutes. This is what I took from it. I thought it was a solid match, and for the first time, I kind of thought Tamina looked pretty decent in this match, Matt. I don't know if you thought the same way, but I thought it was a good tag match, and I thought Tamina looked better than normal.
I thought the match was fine. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. So
I thought she looked better than normal, very solid in the ring. So I was kind of happy at that because round out that women's division, make it competitive, and make Tamina a legit threat.
It also doesn't hurt that she got to work with Becky Lynch and Charlotte too.
Good point.
So they kind of help elevate the level of who they're in there working with.
Funny segment. Maria Kanellis is backstage and knocks on the men's locker room, and Chad Gable answers. And Maria said she's looking for Sami Zayn, and says that Sami owes her an apology. And Gable calls him Sammy Wow Wow. Do you know what that means?
I do not.
Inside joke, apparently, kind of like Big Hog for.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Big Hog nickname.
Yeah, but
for
we
Ellsworth.
know what that's referencing. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sammy Wow Wow's supposed to mean.
But Gable said, yeah, whatever. Goodbye. I thought Gable was funny here.
Gable's facial reactions were fantastic.
They were. He's moving up that ladder apparently. Shortly after,
maybe he's Kurt's a legitimate kid.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
So maybe he's Kurt's a legitimate kid.
Yeah, he's got too much hair.
I don't know. The whole thing's ridiculous.
I don't know if there's a kid involved. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be funny if it was Kurt's oldest daughter was the kid involved, because you know who he had that with.
Oh, good.
Karen Jarrett.
Yeah, fuck that bitch, too.
Mike and Maria are backstage and being all lovey-dovey. The power of love. It's the power of love. Sami Zayn shows up, and Maria says, I want an apology now. Zayn says, I'm sick of apologizing. And then Zayn asked, does Mike even compete here? And Mike said, is Mike the lover and you're the fighter? And Maria slaps Zayn in the face. Mike grabs the flower vase and cracks it over Sammy's head. And Maria says, well, sometimes love hurts. I thought it was a great segment. To escalate things, probably get the Zayn and Bennett match that we are waiting for at Battleground.
Certainly seems that way.
Are you coming around on Mike and Maria a little more now that this is progressing? Still no?
No, the gimmick sucks.
I like the gimmick. I like it.
You're the only person I've spoken to that likes it.
I like it. Now maybe it's because it's my brother from another mother and he's in the WWE. But I don't hate. I like. I'm liking it. I'm like.
They hate you so much they wouldn't even let them use his name.
No, Vince hates me. Remember.
So I said they, as in WWE.
Oh, I thought you meant they as in Mike and Maria.
No, they as in WWE.
It's time for the Sexy Fashion Rangers with Breezango. Obviously, a take on Walker, Texas Ranger. And it kept saying, starring Chuck Norris, and then at the end it said, no, not really starring Chuck Norris. Fandango riding a horse on a stick. I lost it when he was doing that. Gave it to Zack Ryder and told it to park it for him. Tyler Breeze tries to lasso Ryder, but he ended up lassoing himself. And Ryder asks Breeze, when he goes undercover, does he wear a bra? And Breeze goes, of course, I'm not a hippie.
It's a lasso of truth.
Yep, Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. Mojo Rawley walks up, or Breezango asks Mojo and Zach where they were when Breeze was attacked in their office last month. Mojo said they were busy talking to Shane and Daniel Bryan to become #1 contenders again. Zach argued with Mojo about how Mojo eliminated him from the Battle Royal next week. Mojo complained, hey, it's everybody for themselves, Zach, get your head back in the game. Zach said they need to get back to reality. Maybe they all do. And looked at Breezango. After Zach left, they took a look at for the horse, and he was gone. And Breezango said, ghost aliens took it. And then it ended with a graphic saying, the Fashion X-Files, the truth is not H.
The truth is not H.
I cannot wait for the Fashion X-Files next week. That is gonna be epic. Do you love it just as much as all the other stuff?
Everything they do is gold.
It is, man. I mean, I seriously lost it the way Fandango was riding the stick horse. Oh, boy. I laughed way too hard at that.
Somebody stole it.
Who stole it? I think it was Jason Jordan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gable doesn't even know. But all this is Jason Jordan's doing.
They don't even know, but they're actually brothers. They're both Kurt Angle's illegitimate children.
Oh my God!
EC Dub.
Oh, where's Big Dick Dudley when we need him? Talking Smack this week, they announced with Shane McMahon and Renee Young will be John Cena, Sami Zayn, and the Usos. Main event time. Tag team main event. Kevin Owens, Rusev, John Cena, AJ Styles. I thought pretty solid main event for SmackDown. You agree, Matt?
Yeah, I thought the match itself was good. I still think Cena getting pinfall wins in main events in 2017 is ridiculous, but whatever.
Yeah, what can we do, Matt? What can we do?
Roll our eyes and wait for Cena to leave for good.
Cena and Styles posed in the ring to end the show. What did you think of Raw and SmackDown this week as a whole?
Well, the shows were fine. I liked SmackDown a little bit more than I liked Raw, but I thought both shows were good. We're actually getting a scary trend in the last few weeks that TV's actually been good, and I really hope it stays that way.
To tell you the truth, I liked Raw a little more than SmackDown, but it was close.
I don't know. I felt SmackDown overall flowed better than Raw did.
Well, that's just normal. That's just better writing. But I did enjoy Raw a little bit more this week. But still, I mean, good stuff. And any more breaking news? This has been such a weird 72 hours, Matt.
It doesn't seem to be. Thankfully, because I feel like we've gotten enough. And I was wrong. Eric Young was at the NXT tapings tonight, so he's back on the road with the company.
Apparently, Thea Trinidad is accompanying Almas to the ring.
Yep.
So they were arguing. Now they're together, and poor Thea, that whole Austin Aries thing.
Yeah, her gimmick name seems to be Zolita Vega. So, or something along those lines.
And yes, they say possibly a three-way with Roderick Strong. So I think you were spot on there with the we're going to do that behind closed doors and Wrinkles off.
You know, honestly, they should. They don't need to go out there and spoil that right now when they're a little over a month away. They don't need to announce that right now. But at the same token, I think it would be an absolute crime to leave Roderick off of Brooklyn. So,
especially after the way he performed against
Rude. And the video
packages
packages and stuff that he's had lately. The dude's a big part of the NXT brand right now, and I see no reason to leave him off.
If he's added, if he's added, would you put the title on him?
I wouldn't roll it out. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't roll it out.
I think he's got more momentum than McIntyre right now.
I think there's a legitimate possibility if they go in there with a triple threat that either, anybody could walk out of there with that title.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing. That's actually really fucking cool.
I think Strong has more momentum than McIntyre at this point. I think Strong deserves it at this point more than McIntyre.
We'll see what happens.
And that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, that's what I like about NXT.
All right, kids.
More predictable than anything the main roster puts out.
As long as nothing breaks in the next minute, that is it for Lost in the Midcard. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and all your favorite podcasting apps. Again, make sure you search for Lost in the Midcard. Make sure you tell your friends to search for Lost in the Midcard so everybody can enjoy what the WWE is already listening to. That should be our new slogan, right, Matt? We're here. Everybody enjoy what the WWE is already listening to. We'll put that on T-shirts.
Buy the shirt.
You can also
all proceeds
subscribe
benefit
to us.
from Ric Flair Retirement Fund.
Woo! I'll be at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh.
Calm down, Ric Flair imposter.
Bring back Southpaw, please.
They've recorded new footage for it. It is coming back.
Excellent. You can also follow us and subscribe to us on the YouTube, and the links to all that you can find on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard, at LITMC Podcast. Also, Matt does a phenomenal job of sharing all that the wrestling world has to offer on Twitter, and there's a lot of good stuff, especially from Rebby Hardy today. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we get out of this show, with hopefully no more breaking news, or hopefully breaking news, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Let's hope we get that 4-way at SummerSlam, because if it's Roman versus Brock, my interest level's about at 0 for that.
Unless Brock beats him in a minute and a half.
I still don't have any interest in it. I don't want to see the match again. I saw it 31. I didn't think it was that great then, and I don't want to see it again now.
Well, I sure as fuck don't want to see it 34.
Well, nobody does. Nobody but Vince.
So that's the only reason why I wouldn't mind it being at SummerSlam, is it pushes it off of 34. But
I told you my WrestleMania 34 idea, but it's probably not going to happen.
What was that? Tell that to the crowd once again.
Neither Brock or Roman have the title, and it's a triple threat with the Undertaker. Taker against 2 guys to beat the streak, where the streak was broken in New Orleans, and Taker pins Brock to right that wrong in that building and go out on top. I just feel like that dude deserves.
It's perfect poetic justice.
His last match should be
get the win back.
Should have been a win. And go in there, go to the place where the streak was broken against the 2 guys that beat him at WrestleMania, and let him win the triple threat match and beat Brock.
Yeah, I absolutely would love that.
I think it would be poetic justice.
Yep. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next Thursday.